Please subscribe to Facetv Africa and turn the notification on. Facetv Africa, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, subscribe, hete.
Face TV Muswobi.
It is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the 2023 edition of the annual Vanguard National Economic Discourse, the sixth in the series since 2017, taming inflation and stimulating growth, the place of fiscal and monetary policies. The annual Vanguard Economic Discourse has gained traction over the years as a major public-private sector platform for public economic policy reviews and interrogations of policy outcomes, as well as cross-fertilization of ideas for socio-economic development. Essentially, the platform seeks to profile solutions while making recommendations for alternative policy strategies that could best achieve the nation's desired economic objectives while inspiring inclusive growth across economic sectors and segments of our society. Ladies and gentlemen, since our last edition in April 2022, several macroeconomic developments have taken place, almost all in the negative directions, and more to the consternation of most people across all strata of our society. Needless to say, that the population at the bottom of the pyramid have borne most of the brunt. A few of these adverse developments are worth mentioning in this brief address. They include the sluggish GDP figures, spiraling inflation numbers, especially food inflation, external sector pressures resulting in external reserves decline, and foreign exchange supply and rate crisis, just to mention a few. These were coming at the backdrop of legacy issues bedeviling the operating environment, which includes infrastructure decay, energy crisis, security nightmare, among others. Now that Nigeria is on the verge of a transition to yet another political dispensation, almost all these economic albatross may become the hallmark of the handover notes. Our core task at the National Economic Discourse over the years is to assemble subject matter experts to shed light on all the issues involved and give informed positions for the attention of public policy executives. Consequently, in the 2023 edition of the Discourse, we have invited the fiscal and monetary policy authorities, as well as private sector counterparts, to do justice to the subject of taming inflation and stimulating growth, the place of fiscal and monetary policies. The Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, together with the Monetary Policy Authority, the Central Bank of Nigeria, we are slated to headline this policy discourse. Unfortunately, the minister had excused herself due to the Federal Executive Council meeting holding today, while our representative couldn't make it at the last minute. However, the governor of CBN also will be fully represented by the CBN branch controller, Lagos, Mr. Koyo. I think he's on his way. While Mr. Ben Akaboize, the DG Budget Office of the Federation, who is out of the country, is joining us virtually. The late content will be presented by Mr. Niyi Yusuf as the keynote speaker for this year's discourse. Mr. Yusuf, a person of repute in Nigeria's development discourse, is also the chairman of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, a non-profit, non-partisan private sector organization with a mandate to promote and champion the reform of the Nigerian economy into an open, private sector-led, globally competitive economy. Mr. Yusuf, as the managing partner at Veraki Partners, lead the firm in its mission to transform African enterprises and government via smart, future-focused solutions and business insights. He has served as the country managing director for Essential in Nigeria and was responsible for all aspects of the firm's strategy, team, and operations. Prior to Veraki, he had worked at Arthur Andersen and JKK in a career spanning over 30 years. Mr. Yusuf has played critical roles in the establishment of infrastructure for the Nigerian banking industry, including the establishment of InterSwitch, CRC Credit Bureau, and shared services platforms. Distinguished participants, we also have an array of discussants and panelists that are well experienced in the private sector, playing lead roles in the very important organized private sector entities in Nigeria. One of them is Engineer Shola Obadimu, the DG, Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA. Before NASIMA, Mr. Obadimu had a rich background in the management of membership-based institutions as the Director General of the Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce, NACC. He had also served previously as the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. He was Director General of Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, founding Executive Secretary of the Nigerian South African Chamber of Commerce, and Acting Director General with the Institute of Nigerian Directors of Nigeria, IOD. He is a fellow of IOD, Nigerian Institute of Management, Nigerian Society of Engineers, and Charter Institute of Personnel Management, among others. We also have in the team of discussants Otumba Francis Meshioye, who was elected as the 11th president of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, in the year 2022. Experience in the industries and finance, Otumba Meshioye served as chairman, MAN Ikeja branch, chairman, Finance and Establishment Committee, and vice chairman, Lagos Zone of the association, and is currently a council member, Institute of Charter Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. He has so many other things I think I should abridge, otherwise that will be the lecture for the day. We also have in the team Mrs. Oluwatoyin Sani, an African investment banker, lawyer, chartered secretary, and stockbroker, and author. She's the group chief executive at the leading investment banking house, the United Capital PLC. And later became the founder and group chief executive of Emerging African Capital. So I was told. She's the chairperson of Women in Finance in Nigeria, a non-for-profit organization focused on advocacy for Nigerian women in the finance sector. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now proceed to introduce the chairperson who will shepherd the team and indeed the entire proceedings of today. She's no other person other than Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika. The chairman and founder, the Chair Center Group, and a director in several companies and institutions. A woman of excellence, she's passionate about building the nation and her people. Mrs. Awoshika is an alumna of world's major business schools. Through her projects, she inspires young entrepreneurs to create jobs for the large unemployed youthful population. This team, you will agree with me, is the best we can assemble as of today, especially in view of what is going to happen in the next few weeks when we appoint new political economy managers for Nigeria. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you to a stimulating session, a session I hope we all remember. Thank you and good night.
Please subscribe to Facetv Africa and turn the notification on. Facetv Africa, subscribe, hete.
Face TV. Muswobi.